All right, let's jump in. Oh, let me make some stuff go away. 1 second. All right, so kicking it off with Owensboro, we're up to 132 sales. This is as of Friday. Of course, we'll have end of the month numbers for you next week. We weren't able to pull them, being that yesterday was just the last day of the month, but we'll have that. From what I'm guessing, we're probably going to finish somewhere around 150. So we're down from 160 to about 150 for the month of September. The average days on market did take a little bump up, but the overall, in terms of just the week, but the overall days on market is staying the same in the high 60s, kind of maybe even could push lower 70s depending on how a couple things shake out yesterday. In regards to inventory, as you can see over here on the left-hand side, up over 300 consistently for 3 weeks in a row. So that kind of tells us that the inventory is starting to grow a little bit. And I'm not sure what y'all are seeing, but at least what I'm seeing is the really good priced homes that are in good condition, they're going off the market. If it's either a little bit overpriced or it could be priced right and needs work, it's tending to stick around. So one of the things I wanted to highlight, and this is true for every location, when you're going on listing appointments, I think it's really important to focus on housing deficiencies. Like what does the house need in terms of repair, condition, cosmetics, and things like that? And then is there a potential solution for your sellers? Because the better condition you can get the house on, not only will that potentially drive the price up, but it's going to ensure a faster sale. So I just wanted to make a note on that real quick. Other than that, not seeing anything that's really standing out in terms of the numbers and the inventory and things. But let's flip over to Elizabethtown. Ended at 427 sales at the end of this week. So they're going to finish probably somewhere in the 450-ish range, down from 526 in the month of August. And average days on market for 2 weeks in a row now has been 112. So my guess is that we're going to see right at 100 when the final end of the month numbers come out. In regards to inventory here, you can see 683, kind of been between 670 and 680, basically the whole month of September. So again, look at how much it's gone up since just the beginning of the year when it was in the lower fives, and now we're in the upper sixes. So again, kind of same story, inventory is continuing to climb, and we're going to kind of discuss that here in a little bit. For Evansville, 2,603 listings sold, our average days on market being at 443. Last month they had 3,039. They're going to probably finish 2,700-ish, if I had to guess. So a little bit down. Again, not too surprised with that. There's a lot of conversation about lower rates and how much activity has that kicked off. We're going to talk about that in a minute, so I don't want to spoil it, but just know that we're kind of in that phase where we should start to see sales go down just based off seasonality alone. Then the only question is, do the interest rates good enough to kind of kick that off a little bit or stop that from going? In regards to inventory in Evansville, you can see over 1,000. It's going to stay over 1,000 for the end of the month numbers. First time since the beginning, since really probably 2020 that there's been over 1,000 active listings there. And in Henderson, I pulled in Evansville stats accidentally, so I don't have Henderson numbers, but I remember them. 22 total sales, probably going to finish around 24. Their average days on market is still in the 60 range, and their inventory has climbed. I don't remember the exact number, but basically there's like 10 more listings than there was this time last week. So a few more extra. Denise, if you post that, that's Evansville stats. I pulled the wrong screenshot in, so don't post Henderson.
Okay, I was like, I think that's
Yeah,
the exact same.
it is. I had screenshot the wrong thing when I pulled it over. That's on me. But Henderson's kind of following suit. Just no inventory in Henderson, you all know. And I can tell you
It was
that,
like 61, the last time was like 61
yeah,
listings.
61 listings. I mean, their total sales was, I think, 22, if I'm not mistaken, through last Friday for the whole entire month, which isn't,
22.
yeah, it isn't, but for the month of August, actually, hold on. I got,
Yeah, but we're not, well, we're doing a lot of them.
here, I'll tell you real quick, so I have it right here. Oops. Yeah, 22 total sales, down from 40, down from 47, and then 63 active listings, and their average days on market is in the mid 30s. So completely different market there, just not a lot of people moving. The good news is if you are selling in the Henderson area, if you list it, it's probably, oops, wrong button. If you list it, it's probably going to sell. I know.
The 3 that I have listed right
Yeah, we listed one. Yeah, Kevin listed one.
Price.
Yeah, Kevin listed one on Wednesday, and it actually went multi.
know.
Yeah, it had three offers on it. So it's interesting how when you move into these little pockets, and this is why we always talk about real estate so hyper local, because Henderson's pocket is you list it, it's going to sell. You know, Louisville and E-Town, you list it, and short of it being priced like crazy good, it is potential for it to sit there for a little while, right? So just wanted to kind of point that out. Any questions on the market stats? By the way, I couldn't pull Louisville numbers. We have an issue with the login, so I apologize I wasn't able to get Louisville numbers this week, but we're hoping to have them back for next week, and then I'll update everybody. So, all right, so let's talk about what we're seeing. So this is an article from, I'm not sure if any of y'all follow Altos, but they do a lot of just market stats, and it's honestly a place that I pull a lot of information from here. And what the article is, I'll save the trouble watching this hour and a half long video, but basically that we're having more home sales this year than we are last year. And you can kind of see in the graphic that's in the background here, this is 2024 home sales versus the kind of lighter medium red line is 2022, and then the lightest red line is 2023. So the good news is we have started to see an increase in the number of sales. However, they're still not anywhere near what we expect them to be this time, especially with the interest rate cuts and things along those lines. So we'll look at a couple of reasons why, especially when we get past the mortgage rate section. But mortgage rates for today, 6.2 for the fixed rate, last week, 6.2 for the fixed rate, 5.73 for FHA and VA. And then this week, it's just a slight upkick, not very much, but 6.24, and then 5.8 and 5.81. So I'll let y'all get some pictures of that, because I know a lot of you like to post them on social media. By the way, just FYI, if you don't want to wait for these meetings, I pull this as a screenshot off Mortgage News Daily. You can go there any day and screenshot it to be able to create social media
But
posts
we
and things
appreciate
like
you
that.
pulling it.
Oh yeah, no, I don't mind to pull it. Yeah, I definitely don't mind. But just in case you happen to want it, I just want to tell you where I get it. So what's going on, and especially with the interest rates and what's going on with the economy as a whole. So there is, I don't know why that's cutting off the edge of this. Hold on a second. Here we go. All right, so the most important thing is some key numbers came out. So there is the personal consumption expenditures is the number one, like you always hear of like inflation data and the core inflation and things along that. Well, what the Fed has started to watch the most is the personal consumption expenditures, and that actually came in at 2.2, which is the lowest level since 2021. Hence why they're doing the rate cuts, which I think we're all welcome to be able to see. One of the things that that they're also watching is the core consumption, which strips out food and energy costs, because those are just so volatile. And by the way, we're going to talk about food and energy here in a minute. But those rose by 0.1%. So where I'm going with this is all the signs are pointing to the economy is definitely cooling. I'm sure you've read articles, heard me talk about it for a while. So the interest rates did come down. It didn't really help, at least in the short term. Of course, rates just changed recently, so we don't have the full effect yet, but in the short term, it hasn't helped greatly. And I tell you that because it's leaning towards more rate cuts, and potentially another 2 rate cuts at least 1/4 of a point, both happening in November and December. So you could look at another 0.5% down by the end of the year, which is a welcome blessing for all of us, right? Because I think it's been pretty tough out there as far as number of sales, without a doubt. So we're hoping that will trigger off some people to be able to move, because that should push interest rates for most consumers, talking a conventional loan, down into the 5s, which leads to another article that I wanted to show you all, and it's U.S. housing turnover hits 30-year low as lock-in effect lingers. So the lock-in effect is what we've talked about for a while in regards to people have 2.75, 3%, all the way up to even 5% interest rates. They just haven't been willing to move. And as a matter of fact, only, I believe it was 2.5% of people who owned a home actually made a move. Like that's what they call housing turnover. Think about it this way. That's 25 out of every 1,000 people that own a home that actually put their home up for sale this year, which is the lowest number that they've seen in over 30 years. And they basically said with many reluctant as rates peak at 7.52 in April, although rates have dipped to the low 6% range by August. There's a psychology effect that happens here, like remove economics and all of that. There's something about that number starting with a 5 that I believe is going to trigger people to be okay to move, right? So if I'm at 3%, I'm okay to go with something that starts with a 5. I'm not willing to double my rate, even though it's not a true double rate. And even though at 5.75, it's still pretty much double if you're at 2.75. However, the psychology effect takes over and it's like, okay, I'm willing to do this. So just want y'all to know all signs are pointing towards interest rates are going to continue to go down. Demand should start to go up. The question we have now is how much does demand go up versus normal seasonality, and where do we find that happy median? So if I was you all, I'd be making sure that every single one of my potential buyers, my pipeline, everybody, what's their trigger number on interest rates? And then I'm setting up a system to communicate when that hits. So for example, if Paul tells me that, hey, I'm willing to move when rates get to 5.5, what's your system that the second rates, I stand up here and say, hey, rates are at 5.5, what's your system to notify Paul of that, right? So just something to kind of think about going forward. And that'll be setting, so you set yourself up for spring. This isn't real estate related, but I had a buddy of mine call me and tell me about this morning, so I wanted to include it. So, 40 on the East and Gulf Coast, 36 different shipping companies, 45,000 union workers just walked off the job. So this could be a big deal. So I wanted you all to know so that you can beat the rush to go get your eggs, all that. Y'all know how it's going to go. The grocery stores are going to be wiped out by this afternoon. But more importantly than that is about half the U.S. imports pass through the East and Gulf Coast. This means all kinds of stuff could be affected. Not only food from produce that we get from different places, but also clothing, pharmaceuticals, even holiday toys could be affected. So we don't know exactly how this is going to play out because this is literally day one, minute one of the strike. But I can tell you this: in the 1970s, late 1970s, was the last time this type of strike happened. It was almost said struck. I don't know what the right word is. They were on strike. There we go, for 8 days. It took 6 months for normal inventory levels of imported goods to reach their normal level. 8 days of strike cost 6 months of recovery. Right, so I wanted to just kind of put that out there because a couple effects is it says here companies keeping lean inventory to keep costs low might have to shut down assembly lines amid a prolonged strike. And said this could come at a time when job market's already cooling. So it'd be interesting to see how this plays out because if we can't get consumer goods in, like I'm not talking Walmart's, I'm talking John Doe Sports place in E-Town or whatever. Like if they run out of basketballs and there's no way to get any more basketballs and they can't sell any basketballs, what do? They have to shut down, right? They're not going to keep paying employees when there's nothing to be able to sell. That could lead to even more unemployment, which could cause the economy to do a couple of different things. One, it could cause the economy to go down faster, which if we're talking being selfish and talking strictly real estate, could be a good thing for us because it could accelerate interest rate cuts and maybe we get a 0.5% cut at some point. And then on the other side of that, some of your buyers let's separate into two. Buyers who would be willing to buy could be affected by this over those next 6 months and potentially push back their buying timelines. So something you just like as an extra touch and check in, over the next few months, just keep this type of stuff in mind, especially if somebody says they have concerns over their job. You might be able to relate it back to this and help them in some way. But on the seller side, if people lose their jobs, that's one of the 5 Ds, right? Where people their motivation changes and they have to move. So just know that it could play out. Not that we're trying to take advantage of any type of obviously bad thing, but I want y'all to be aware of what's going on the national level because it eventually will trickle down to us. Even though we're kind of isolated in the middle, it's eventually going to trickle down to us and it will affect some of our small business owners, farmers, and people like that as well. So, any questions on that or anybody heard anything?
I didn't even realize they were that big.
Yeah, I was shocked by the number, 45,000. So basically nothing's being shipped in except for the West Coast. And it's hard to get stuff from the West Coast to the East Coast because of the mountain ranges, the deserts, all that, like the logistics of it. It's going to be tough. So it's going to hurt the east side of the U.S. worse than the west side for sure. All right, want to go over some office events, of course. We'll continue our weekly mastermind and market data. Next week, we'll have the actual full October, so we'll review that as well as look at inventory and other key metrics to see how our particular markets are doing. We also have tech training. This week, we're doing DocuSign, so it's been a little while. Been a month and a half since I've done a DocuSign class, so I wanted to work that in. And then also, we have a contracts training class, and this week, we're doing mutual release of purchase agreements, both with, so in case y'all didn't know this, there's two, one with earnest money going, one without earnest money going. Then we'll talk through what each one does, not only the contract itself, but when do you use them and what happens, what are your options behind either scenario for either a buyer or a seller. Then big deal, Bobby's in Henderson working on getting our internet connected. We got Jason Abrams, y'all. This is huge. So we got Jason Abrams is going to come teach just our market centers. This isn't a regional thing, anything like that. He's hopping on a Zoom. He's going to be with us to talk about lead generation and value to your sphere and past clients. And if you've never heard Jason Abrams speak,
awesome.
He's absolutely amazing. So I wanted to go ahead and put this out there so you can go ahead and mark your calendars. There should be calendar
tell
invites and
Bobby
stuff
good
going.
job.
Yeah.
Does Bobby just have his number?
Yes.
He
Called him.
he got
I
it.
have his number too.
He got his number.
Holding out on me this whole time?
Yeah, he emailed him and then got his number from Cody Gibson, and then they connected somehow and was able to make it happen.
You
So.
have Gary's phone number.
No. Maybe.
Holding out on me. Come on, Gary.
I got his email. It's Gary@kw.com. I actually don't know if that's his email.
That is.
Is it his
Or
email?
I'm with Gary. Gary K.
Yeah. Yeah, so big deal there. So please make every attempt. We did make it on a Friday just to make sure, fewer appointments, different things like that. So make sure you can attend that if at all possible. And then if you're in the Owensboro area, we have 3 broker opens, kicking off with the first one on the left-hand side. I guess it's left-hand side for y'all. Yeah. That's with Jago. So they have it at 25.
Don't be scared. That's cute.
2553 Watson Circle. And they're going to have, so the way they're doing this, I've been watching this a little bit on Facebook, Rolling Pin Donuts and Parlor Donuts, and y'all are going to taste test to see what's actually the best. So I think that's pretty cool, pretty fun event. And then there's 2 more also, so 5551 Goldenrod Lane and 9435 Highway 231. Salsarita's at one, McAllister's at the other, so we're going to go get donuts and then go get lunch right afterwards. And that'll be the order that we're going to go in. So Parlor kicks off at 10:30, so we're going to get there right at 10:30. I said Parlor. Watson Circle, 10:30. Then we're going to go to Goldenrod and then jump out to Highway 231. So, and just plan on meeting at the Watson Circle right at 10:30, and that way we make sure we get through them all. All right. I think that is all I have other than wants and needs. So who has a buyer, a listing, or anything that we need to know about?
A 3-2 coming up. Flamingo Drive, 3020 Flamingo. It's pretty decent. It needs carpets. They're going to do a carpet allowance. Probably 3 to 5 grand on that. Fenced in backyard, 164.9.
Oh, wow. That'll go.
That one's not bad. And then we've got the same people who are selling are buying. The one we go to about 240, looking for a 14.
240, 14. Okay.
What you got?
Julie?
612 Fleetwood Drive, not active today. It's a 3-1, 144, 900. It's super cute.
What was the address again?
612 Fleetwood.
612 Fleetwood. Okay. 144 now? 3 and 1?
Where's that? Where's Fleetwood?
You went to the appointment with me.
Oh, duh. Okay.
I don't
Dude,
know. Where is it?
That was the day I lost my passport, so I might have just blanked everything out.
It's probably there.
Oh, yeah,
She's like,
Oh, I know where that is.
It's on a corner lot,
Okay.
and it's got a new.
that house is cute. I
Yeah,
really-
it's super cute. New fence, like backyard patio thing. But yeah, I just hit them on. Like
That's
5
funny.
minutes ago.
Just now hit the MLS?
Yeah.
Sweet. Those are both priced really good.
Yeah, Fleetwood looks really cute out back.
I got a flip house that'll be ready
Oh, we were about to ask for it.
in about 2 weeks. 816 West 12th, 3-bedroom, 1 bath. Literally, I've spent way too much money on this. Everything's been touched. Like there's nothing that hadn't been touched in there. The one downfall in it is we weren't able to get the floors completely level. They're very level, but there's a couple spots that kind of dip down. I did a bunch of work on the underneath of it, and it all comes with a warranty and everything. So everything's good, but fully remodeled. I haven't set the price yet. We're probably going to be like 185 to max would be 190, but I'm thinking 185 on that. It's like 1,200 square feet. I mean, it's super nice. So 3 in 1.
I'm needing a 3,000 square feet at least, because he will not,
What price?
300,000,
300,000.
he will not budge on the square footage.
All right. Well, if it's 2,950.
He might, but he wants to,
Oh, yeah, I got
Making it
it.
smart.
yeah, something else is, he wants a pool, but I told him that he may not find that
Yeah.
commonly here. He's-
That's 100 a foot. Have you
Yeah.
gone over that with him? Okay. 100 a foot is like fair condition.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, and that's what I told him, I was like, you're not probably gonna find what you're looking for.
So I would go through, this is my advice, like, I would go through and be like, okay, 300,000, this is what you're gonna have to spend. Because off the top of my head, I'm like, that's 100 a foot. That's like foreclosure price. So he, like, a lot of times if you go and you talk to them like that, then you can get them up, right? Because you're educating. So I just off the top of my head, that's what I thought. I'm like, you ain't finding that. So,
But he's moving back from Louisville, and so it's easier to find that there than it is here, as far as like, cause he's wanting a pool too.
yeah.
And
I'll tell you right now, he's not finding that in Louisville.
Yeah, that's what I was
Louisville
wondering.
is 200 a square foot right now.
Right,
Yeah.
no, I mean, that's the house he's got now is a decent size, but it don't have a pool, but he's done decided, like,
Mhm.
he comes back, he wants to have a pool.
He needs to
Or-
up that price point.
Yeah, or a bigger yard to put
Yeah,
one in.
put one in. Yeah. Yeah, I would just show them that, like, what I would do also, to Kelly's point is spot on, but also pull through the MLS, everything that's sold for 300,000 or less over the last month or two, and I guarantee you, if there's one that has 3,000 square foot, it's gonna be rough. And actually send that over to them and send them the pictures and be like, hey, this is what you're getting, so I just wanna make sure your expectations are in line with what's possible. And then go
Because the
from there.
thing is we have to find them motivated, right? And so part of our job is not just to listen to the client. Hey, this is what I want. I hear, everything. Part of our job is to be the educator and make sure we're not wasting time with someone that's never gonna buy. Because they'll get frustrated, you'll get frustrated. So it's like, the more facts you can give them, instead of just being like, well, that's how they are, it's better just to get the facts, because eventually they'll come to logic. So
Yeah.
yeah, buy something.
And if you can't reduce the price, then he'll just have to reduce the expectations on what he could get. Because he could get 2,000 square feet at that,
Yeah,
no,
oh,
all
yeah.
day, maybe even with the pool, so.
And I even told him that, I was like, I don't know if you're gonna find that at
Yeah.
that price.
But a lot of times when we tell, like, it doesn't work. Like, when you get such a strong personality, sometimes they don't listen.
Yeah.
That's why you,
In one, out the other.
yeah, so the facts go better than just telling.
Yeah.
Red's like, yeah. Or they gotta fail a couple times, and then they come back.
Yeah, I've had that as well.
I've had where I've showed them the facts, and I still gotta write offers, and they don't get them. And then they're finally like, okay.
Yeah, sometimes they have to lose a couple
I know.
before they finally listen to you and be like, yeah, you're right, maybe I should increase.
Yeah.
All right, anything else? Yep, Julie.
Like if anyone has a listing that has like a small pond or like a lake or something, or just more in the country, I got some people looking like 250 if they're like max.
32, 250. Dang, we just sold one a couple months ago.
Really?
Yeah.
They would love to be like Philpott, Utica, or like McLean County area.
Call the Barnes. They might know something. I think they mentioned something coming in Philpott recently, so check with them. Oh. There you go. Hey, you got any three? No, sorry. You got any 3 and 2s in Philpott?
Not off the top of my head, but you might be thinking of Zach.
Maybe, I can't remember who it was, so. All right,
I'll go through my pipeline and then see. What'd you say, a lake?
Like a pond, they would love that, but they don't have to, you know.
Yeah.
Aller?
1007 Denver, 3-1, flipped, 139.9. Decent little house. And then 1927 Lexington Ave, it's a 4-2. It's really nice, they flipped it as well, and it's at 439.
I need details on that. I got somebody for it.
Thank you. Send it to you.
Yep. All right. You got any buyers or listings coming up we need to know about?
Well, we just listed Fieldstone Court. It shows like brand new, literally, and it's one of the best lots in Deer Valley. No, it's Deer Valley. But I need to fill it or Whitesville, but my people are like 450. Needs to be a big house, at least 3 or 4 bedrooms, 2.5 or 3 bathrooms, and about anywhere from 5 to 10 acres. We might have anything.
Yep. Anything else? Did we miss anybody? Okay. All right, well, just as a reminder, I'll go back and put the broker opens up.
Oh, and one more thing, I do have someone who really wants out, like West Fifth Street Road area, Grand Road, all that.
Is that still flood or did that change?
You know, I haven't checked that area.
I don't think it,
It
I think I
was.
checked it recently and it wasn't, but
Yeah.
she doesn't care, she just, and she's like 160, so they might have something.
All right, well, we'll meet over at 2553 Watson Circle. Plan on getting there around 10:30, and then we'll go from there. Anything?
Bob's in Henderson.
On the words?
No.